Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over the information we need to know about this TOP season. There is timestamps as always, you can jump to any part at any times. We start with the route. Of course we are going to follow the yellow line as always. This season you have some alternative fights for number 10 and number 12. They are quite similar in terms of difficulty, so if you choose the left one for number 10 it's fine. It just depends on the type of team you have, and I'm going to go with the right one, and I will explain during the guide video why, and maybe I will give you both on how to approach them during the weekend video. In terms of boost, here is what we have. It's gonna be around the Trunk Saga from DBS and Vegeta Clan. They will have the highest boost possible, and of course the new unit will have 35% compared to tier 2 that will get 15%. So if you have the new unit, you must use it even at 5 star, and it must be in your team in every single fight. Other than that, try to focus only on tier 2 if possible, because if you want the 1 KCC, you must get at least a full tier 2 team to be safe. If you are like very bad in terms of stars for your Trunk Saga Vegeta clan characters, you can have one tier 3 if you wish to, but try to not take that character to many fights if possible, and try to bench them. For this season, we do not have a lot of choices in terms of color, which is unfortunate, especially yellow and green. Green is not a big issue because you won't need that color that much, but yellow is gonna be a little bit annoying, and let me show you why. To start with, we have 21 purple enemies, so there will be a lot of fights where you need your yellows in the top row to take out the damage from the enemy teams, and the tag unit Trunks and Vegeta, you cannot put them in the top row because they are a tag and they will change their element. So putting them in the top row will put them or will make them vulnerable to purple units turn 2 and 4, which is not ideal. So the only yellow that we can realistically put in the top row is the Rage Trunks, the old one. Many people have him high star, which is great, but many people might not even have him 7 star. So it's gonna be a little bit of an annoyance in general, but let's go over all the fights quickly. We're gonna have fight 1 to 6. Number 1, 3 purple enemy, so putting a yellow will be super beneficial for that. If you do not have a yellow, you can put a blue unit. It could work, but it's not gonna be as effective. Fight number 2 and 3 and even 4, you're gonna put red units in the top row. You blue units, sorry, not red units, and like that you can take the damage from the red enemies. Fight number 5, you're gonna need a yellow again because of the two purples. We cannot put a green in the top row because two purple enemy are gonna be annoying, and we cannot put a red because of two blue enemy that are gonna be annoying. But if you don't have yellow, red is your better bet in my opinion. Number 6, we're gonna need a purple on that, similar to number 7 for the top row. Number 8, we're gonna need the red because of the two yellow enemies, and we're gonna take them at the end. Number 9 is the same as number 4 exactly, so a yellow would be great for that. Number 10, we're gonna need the blue unit or two blue units in the top row, which make it the fourth fight where we need blue in general. You can also do a green, but since we have only one or two green to use, it's not gonna be important. Fight number 11, we're gonna need yellows again, and fight number 12, we're gonna need a yellow again. And it's only the Rage Trunks, which is not the greatest because he's an old unit and he's not gonna take that great of damage, or he will take a lot of damage, sorry, compared to a newer unit or a Zenkai. But during the gameplay video and the guide, I would give you some alternative as the best way possible in general. For the summaries of fights, we're gonna have two where we need reds in the top row, two where we need purples. For green, we won't need it. To be honest, there is only one fight where you can put a green in the top row, and it's number 10. And in that fight specifically, you can put a blue, and we have a lot of good blues. And finally, you're gonna need multiple fights with a yellow in the top row, especially toward the end, the last two fights where they give you a lot of points. Now, let's move on to my team, and I will show you what replacements you can use. This is my team for the season. It's gonna be a little bit complicated to advise some replacement because we do not have a lot of choices in terms of colors, but I will try my best to explain to you what you can do in terms of different characters if you are missing some. First of all, blue units are going to be pretty easy to replace since you have three options. You have the two Zenkai blue trunks, which are the best option if they are not Zenkai. If they are Zenkai, sorry. If they are not Zenkai, you might want to use this free to play trunks if he's 14 star. But the two blue trunks will be okay as long as they are 7 star or higher. Similar stuff for purples, you have three choices. One of them is free to play, so odds you have him in your box. And if you are missing like Vegeta, you can go with this purple trunks as long as he's above 7 star. Similar here, if this Vegeta is not Zenkai, you can use him as long as he's above 7 star. But if he's only 7 star, maybe Zenkai 1 him, Zenkai 1, sorry, him, if possible, because it's gonna be a struggle if everyone is lower star. Other than that, we're gonna have double red. You only have two red option for this TOP season. So if you are missing one of the reds or one of them is below 7 star, you're just gonna drop him and use another color. I would advise you to use a third blue and you should be fine with three blue. A third purple can work, but is not the best option overall. Or if you do have like the new trunks, the 35% boost tier 1 trunks, the ultra, I would use him instead of one of the reds if you are missing a red. Similarly here, if you do not have the green Vegeta, or if you have every character in this setup and you want to replace one character for the new trunks, I would advise you to remove the Vegeta for the green trunks. If you do not have the green Vegeta 7 star and you do not have the new trunks, like the red, you're gonna use either a third blue or you can use a third purple and you should be fine overall. Now you also can use the tag Trunks and Vegeta, that will be fine. Even for a second red, like if you're missing a second red, they will do a job. It's just you cannot put them in the top row. However, you can put them in the middle for damage purposes and so on. Finally, we're gonna have the yellow unit, and this one is gonna be the trickiest of the lot. We only have one yellow unit that will stay yellow all the way, which is gonna be this yellow Trunks. Now his defensive stats are quite nice, so putting him in the top row will be okay for a couple of fights. If you have him high star, I would really advise you to use him because he will be your main yellow unit that will take damage from multiple purple enemies. If you do not have him, it's gonna be tricky. First of all, this guy is not a replacement for him because we cannot put him in the top row, so he's gonna be useless as a yellow. He's gonna be okay as a replacement for anything else. Even for them, they're gonna be okay as a replacement, but he's not gonna be considered as a yellow. What you can do is use any tier 2 you have, a third blue, a third purple, the tag unit is gonna be fine. It's just you cannot put them in the top row and you're gonna shift your strategy completely. So if you do not have yellow, just have any color you want here as long as it's tier 2. You can even have the tag unit one then Zekai, but you won't consider them as a yellow unit. Overall, blues and purples, easy replacement if you are missing one of them. Just go color for color. When we get to the others, what you can do is just focus tier 2 characters. Another thing, do not have lower star character if possible, or too many 7 star or higher for most is gonna be the recommended. If you have the new ultra trunks, let's say you have the new ultra trunks instead of the screen Vegeta, let's imagine it's him, what you can do for your other characters as replacement is you can have one or two future trunks saga character. Let's say you don't have two red unit, you can have this Zenkai Zamasu as your last character for your team. Because the Ultra Trunks will have so much boost, you can afford to have one or two characters that are not tier 2 and it should be okay. But if you do not have him, go full tier 2 and replace the colors that you do not have with the alternatives you have in terms of other colors. To finish the video, let me go quickly over the equipment if people don't know. You're basically gonna have a car equip on everyone, which is this, a class equip on everyone, and the third equip is gonna be a gold that depend on the typing of character. You have the graphic on screen if you don't know where or what to use, and you can farm them from the rare medal shop. So go to the rare medal shop and spam some rare medals to get the equipment. Finally, make sure your characters have the strongest art. You're gonna check the attacking stat and change to the higher possible. So if we get into our team here and we're gonna check Vegeta, like say the EX Vegeta, and we're gonna see his attacking art. He's gonna have more blast than strike, so we're gonna make sure he has a blast attack here. Finally, for my friendship, we're gonna have the following. I'm gonna friendship this yellow Rage Trunks and let's fight for the next couple of fights because he's the only yellow I have and I want as much stat as possible. Friendship is not gonna be really important, but if you can do like me and friendship this yellow Rage Trunk to friendship 5 or so, it's gonna be beneficial overall. For the art boost, I don't think I have any. If we check here, yeah, I don't have any character art boosted, and it's gonna be very important for the 1k cc. That's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any question, let me know in the comment. Have a good one and goodbye.